since you spoke about creator, how are you creating people within the organization? Because they need to unlearn, relearn, understand what's happening in the retail space, right? Look up to the competition. And you also said you would always like to be the first movers in terms of making the innovations or changes. At the ground level within the organization, how are you creating this creators? I mean, is it coming as individual leaders, or there are some focus helping them to think differently, or a certain path given to them? Can you just help us see? Because everybody are so comfortable in what they do, and they need that nudge or a shake. In this ecosystem, when I'm learning from you, how does it happen within the space?
I think that is the most difficult piece. In fact, this is the HR piece. And I feel to run an organization, the most important and the most difficult is this part. Because this is not something where you can say one particular rule fits all. It is different strokes for different folks, because you are different from me, and therefore we all need different strokes. If you see today's Gen Z or Gen Alpha and all that, they believe they can be CEOs in 2020s. Our generation, we feel you need to pickle. Unless there are more face to wash and less hair to comb. You can't get there, right? So, and very impatient. Sometimes our old school says a good leader is somebody who is a subject matter expert of what he does. The new generation doesn't believe in it, and I am with them for that, because today, the rate at which the technology is changing, you can't be a subject matter expert. You become outdated in 2-3 years unless you keep sharpening your skills. So I don't blame if they say that what our generation did is not something which is relevant today. You're right. And we need to be conscious of it and create a great environment for them in the organization. But there are also people who are loyal and might have spent few decades in the organization, who may be in a very comfortable zone. Now, how can you give them the sense of security? And how can you bring that harmony between these two extremes? This is what the entire leadership challenges. And if you can strike a good balance, then you are at cruise control.
Because I keep meeting a lot of business leaders and HR folks. I mean, they see the difference of the generations of people, working style, the leadership style. And a lot of times when we do engagements with them, it's a mixed cohort, right? Where you have a very senior person, when you have somebody who's joined in. It's a very mixed baggage, and absolutely, balancing everybody.
The issue I see is, as leaders, sometimes we sit in judgment of it, and we tend to prejudge, sometimes judge whether this is right or wrong. A good leader should embrace it, accept it. That diversity is something which is good to have, and he should or she should think, how can I leverage from it? How can I make full use of this? Rather than saying, oh, this is wrong. These people don't understand, they're impatient. Maybe because we didn't get what they got, and sometimes that turns our gut. How can you feel like you're entitled for it? I slogged for decades to be there. This is an issue not only because of what is happening in the tech side and the work side, but also on the economy. Today, in our time, there was a time when it used to be a pride when we used to get 4-figure salary, right? And today they earn in lakhs, and I see sometimes some old-timers thinking, oh, for this, I slogged so many years, and you are getting it in your 20s. They deserve it. And this is how the economy grows, the industries grow, the money flows, and we need to accept and the skill sets. And today, knowledge is available to everyone. You just, in fact, many of these questions which you're asking me, you put it in chat GPT, it will give it a better answer than what I am giving.
But your experience and the creator part cannot come out, right? I mean, chat GPT cannot give your touch of all experience, right? I mean, you're right. The good things, I mean, in our conversation, what I also learned is, one, we are talking from a consumer behavioral point of view. We are talking about transformations, how AI is impacting, and other things. We also understand experiential retail, right? Given the new way of consumer patterns have changed. How is in today's landscape, sir? Because you gave a good example of a person walking into the airport and without having anybody there, you are checking in and checking out, right? Today, like Lenskart and others, they just go in front of a tab, they see what kind of specs they want. And so when it comes to retail, how are you seeing that? I mean, how is it transforming in terms of experiential buying there?
Quite a lot is happening. I can say it's a mixed bag. Many things which are happening are good for the consumers. Today, supply chain has improved so much that you always get the right things at the right place. So when the consumer goes, they have a choice of products to choose which are more relevant for them. In the past, it used to be so inefficient. Even slow-moving, non-moving, unwanted stuff will be taking the prime space of the retail, right? So, and that in a way I feel is like not respecting your consumer. So that is definitely a good thing to happen. Now there are also a lot of bells and whistles happening, which we say enhanced consumer experience. May not be. It may entail a lot of money and technology to it. The consumer may not fully appreciate it, and many times he may feel, why should I pay for all this, right? So striking a balance is very, very important. There are a lot of flashy things, which I don't know whether, if it's not relevant and if it's not providing a solution to your consumer, it is of no use. It may generate some experience for you for some time, but even if you go to a restaurant, sometimes you will find the food is coming in a raid like this. One time it is fine, but it's what's a great deal.
Correct.
Now there are also hotels. In fact, if you go to Taj, a good Taj, Vivant House, your data is so much. Any Taj you go, they know the kind of pillow you need, because once you ask for a particular thing, that that information is available. Or how you drink, what is your favorite drink and how much ice you need. Do you mix it with water and a cola or a soda? You'll see them saying, can I fix you this way? Because they know that is what you need. That makes you very happy, right? So it's just a balance which you need to hit. And with what responsibility you do. I'm also a consumer. Many times as a consumer, I feel whether my data is protected, whether it is misused. And this is where, as an organization or as organizations, we need to be very, very responsible and give that comfort to the consumers and respect the consumer that the information which we are harvesting is going to be put to good use without being a nuisance to you. And many times it crosses that line, which you can see. Now I think your phone is inside, and otherwise you would have been getting, by this time you would have got 5 or 6 spam calls. Even though you put do not disturb and all that. that unfortunate. And Airtel came with that spam alert because spam became, that is where, both are technology. Harvesting your data, bombarding you with useless information is also tech. They're coming with a solution saying you can ignore it. I'm going to alert you. No, this is better. The latter is better than the former.
That's a nice way of putting things, like how you can use and how it can always.
Absolutely. So you see both extremes.
So, in your experience, what unique about Indian retail and that global market may not fully understand? I mean, this gives us a little lot of boundaries now, because as an Indian consumer, we've been different, right? I mean, we also would like to see how is it globally there.
Yeah. Indian retail consumer, if you see, he consumes a lot, but he's frugal. If I take apparel, study shows the Indian consumer buys 5 times apparel than people who buy in the developed world.
Okay.
They pay much lesser. The share of the organized retail is so low, in fact, it's in the teens, that they buy from the tailor or unorganized at a much cheaper price, and they want to keep changing. So you can see now, even the organized players have taken that
fast fashion and
template, and you will find very, very low priced products being churned out, and branded play, good retail experience. Now, if you see those stores, the biggest difference there is those stores are not like your Kirana stores or a textile shop. Yeah, like,
well lit up, AC, and well displayed.
So that's where I said it's not the product, it's also the experience. So they give both. And then the consumer feels after 3-4 washes, I can throw and buy something new. In the meantime, the same consumer also gives value to sustainability. Now he is contributing to the landfill by doing this, but he also talks about sustainability. And I think this is where it may take some time for it to mature. But coming to India specific, value seekers, frugal I can say, but very hungry to try new things. Many times brands are not understood. India is many Indias, it's not one. And you can't have one way, go-to-market way for India. Each state is different, the culture is different, the lifestyle is different, even the purchasing power is different.
True.
How much, what can a good middle income consumer in Bihar can afford to somebody in Tamil Nadu? It's very different. So you need to have localized way of doing things, right? And I think brands, many international brands are not understood that. I don't think they are understood the power of Kirana. They're the most powerful today. In fact, even though now modern retail is giving a lot of pressure to them, including e-commerce and quick commerce, still they are more than 80% of the market. So you need to understand and you need to know how to coexist with them, right? And many brands bring the playbook which worked in US or Europe and try to use that same playbook here.
They failed.
And it will not work. And again, I don't think it will work by using the same playbook and localizing only on the product side. You need to look at all the sides of it. Yes, you can have a paneer tikka masala pizza. Yeah, and you can localize, there is so much you can get from it. But can you go to a tier 3, tier 4 city and be viable? No. So there is a limit to which you can close, because your localization is only to the level of product. Now, it needs to be on all aspects of business. That is where I think many brands have struggled to adopt to what.
But how are they coping up, sir? You gave a very interesting point, right? When Domino's can have paneer on their pizzas, big brands, how are they managing at a very local level, personalized? Because my way of looking things is it's a mass production. Probably customization could be very minimal. So when we talk state, very specific to people, city, how does this, I mean, going back to where we started, how AI could have helped or giving those insights. So how does this happen? I mean, this takes me to a very interesting understanding from you, because we always believe brand, they produce in mass, right? So if you see a shirt, Louis Philippe, everybody wears the same, right? I mean, you don't really get a different flavor to it. It's like when we talk within India, like states, people.
Since you took Louis Philippe or a shirt,
any branded shirt,
branded shirt for that matter. End of the day, the silhouette is the same, right? The collar, the pocket, and pockets and sleeves. So the play is in colors, a cut here or there, small things, which so 80% is standardized, but the 20% change we bring can create a big impact. It can be on small, subtle design change. End of the day, a shirt is a shirt is a shirt. So, for that matter, anything. So that is where the play is. And that's why you can get scale. And today's supply chain, as I told you sometime before, has become so organized, so automated, that you can change quickly. Now, when you spoke about the shirts, now the color trends can change. What is selling now can be very different from what the consumer needs 3 months from now and later. Many brands keep the fabric in gray form and they color it just in time. And today you have technologies to do that. In the past, you may not be able to do it with that kind of agility. That's where you get outdated products in the market, and that leads to discounting and other things, because it takes away the shelf space, right? Now, you can actually, technology is so good, you can actually do it just in time. And supply chain has become so efficient. Today, look at the warehousing capability which India has. Any part of the world. And why do you think quick commerce is thriving so well in India? The dark stores, and because that network is so good here. And that means what you should take 30 days to reach a market, say 1.5 decades back, say from Chennai to Delhi, is done in 5 days today. So that brings in so much supply chain efficiency that they call it bullwhip in supply chain. When the whip of the bull's whip, when you whip it, the wave is low in the beginning and becomes bigger as you move forward. And then you will have huge peaks and troughs. So one swing, you don't see the impact immediately, and you may think it is manageable. And you manage those peaks and troughs. And when you do that, you are actually magnifying the problem. And then you will have huge peaks and valleys. And that's where the muck accumulates in supply chain. I firmly believe in this because I think many of the brands, the root cause of their failure is inventory. If you can't control that and manage that well, it can kill you. It's like a cancer. So inventory is the most important. In fact, there are 2 things which are important according to me. One is inventory, second is a product. The product which you offer or the service should be so relevant for the customer. He should find a need for it, and his needs are changing. You should be able to always have the finger on the pulse, understand his needs, and fulfill his needs quickly. And managing the inventory, these two things, if you get it right, you can actually do well. You need to promote your brand because your consumers will do it.
True. So true.
I don't know whether we digress. I think
No. I think so. We're heading right, and we are almost towards the end of the session, sir. We're just getting it right there. So, any piece of advice you would like to give to any retail professionals and business leader preparing for the next decade from your experience? Probably advice could help them.
No, I think I just told you a few things. Understand the market. It is like, it should not be like reading a book how to become a millionaire in 2 minutes. There are those self-help books, right? You cannot do that. And they say like what worked for somebody to become a millionaire will not work for you. Same way, what works for some brand in some other parts of the country or some other country doesn't work here. So you need to, only way out is to understand your consumer, understand their needs, finding solutions to their problems. And that means getting to the brass tacks and always here on the ground. Second thing I told you, the inventory part of it. Third is the brand hygiene part of it. And fourth important thing is maybe old school, believe in having profitable business which can stand on its own legs rather than going for valuation. If you're a promoter, own the brand like your own child. It should not be like, I am doing this so that some other brand can take over and I can get this valuation. Then there's no passion. It's not your baby, right? It is like, it's not your home. It's like checking into a hotel. How much passion you will have to that hotel room where you're checking in for 2 days. But if it's your home, you build it for life. In fact, you even think about your sons and grandchildren when you build a house. And that is how you should build a brand. And so I used to tell to my team also, quarter is 25 years, not 3 months.
That's so insightful, sir. Thank you so much. We have a lot of viewers attending this session. We have come to the end of the session, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. It's our pleasure to have you at Skillemme. We strongly believe these conversations will always help a lot of people to see things differently, right? I'll take a few words what you spoke about, creator, right? I'll really look up to that as one key takeaway. Right, and also in terms of the viewpoints you gave, not from a valuation point of view, but you need to hold it like your baby. Like, do whatever, do it with passion, with right intent. Things will take up its shape. Right. We learned a lot from you this evening. Thank you so much for being part of it. We look forward for many such sessions in coming day. Thank you all for watching us. Look forward to connect back soon. Yeah. Thank you.
And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ganesh. Yeah.